Hey, listen. Don't say a thing seriously. Just pause right here. Let the world keep doing its thing. Let the talking continue. Let the movement continue. And you just step back and watch. There's something different about that space. Something most people never really sit in, because most people feel like they have to respond instantly. Like every word needs a reply, every situation needs a reaction, every moment needs them to jump in and fix or defend or explain. But listen, not everything deserves that from you. Real strength. It doesn't rush to speak. It doesn't scramble to be understood. It doesn't chase approval from minds that already decided what they want to believe. And you've felt it before. That split second when you're about to respond, everything already forming in your head, heart picking up a little speed, and then something inside you just stops you. Like, hold on, yeah, that moment, that's the shift right there. Because instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of speaking first, you observe. Instead of trying to prove anything, you just stay aware. And something changes in that stillness. You start noticing things you used to miss. The way people talk when they're relaxed versus when they're trying to impress. The way energy shifts when certain names enter the conversation. The way actions sometimes say more than anything that comes out of the mouth. And suddenly, it's all clear. You see who's real, who's consistent, who only shows up when it suits them, who listens when you're around, and who only speaks when they think you're not paying attention. And the strange part is, you didn't ask for any of it. You didn't confront anyone. You didn't force answers out of people. You just stepped back, stayed quiet, and everything started showing itself on its own. Funny how that works, isn't it? When you stop interrupting life, life starts telling you the truth. When you stop trying to control every outcome, the real picture shows up without effort. Because clarity was never something you had to chase. It was already there, waiting for you to slow down enough to see it. But yeah, I know, that part isn't always easy. There's that pull sometimes. That urge to speak up, to fix the misunderstanding, to make sure your side is heard, to make sure nobody gets it wrong. And that urge feels strong, almost automatic. But what happens when you don't follow it just once? What happens when you let the moment breathe without stepping into it? What happens when you trust that not everything needs your reaction right away? That's where a different kind of strength shows up, because now you're not being pulled around by every feeling or every trigger. You're choosing your response, not rushing it, not forcing it, just choosing it when it actually matters. And slowly, something inside you starts to feel lighter, like you've been carrying too much that you didn't even realize was heavy until you put it down. Because you're not managing every opinion anymore. You're not trying to reshape how everyone sees you. You're not spending energy explaining yourself to people who were never really listening in the first place. You're just being you. Steady, calm, grounded, and that kind of presence, it speaks without trying. People feel it, even if they don't say anything about it. They feel the change in your energy, the calm in how you move, the way you don't rush into every situation like before. And it shifts things quietly, naturally. Because when you're not chasing attention, you don't need to. Attention finds you on its own. When you're not forcing respect, you don't need to. Respect builds itself around you. And when you're not constantly proving your worth, your presence starts doing the talking for you. And yeah, that's powerful. But it didn't come from doing more. It came from doing less. From pausing, from stepping back, from letting things unfold instead of trying to control every frame of it. And now you're seeing things differently. Situations that used to pull you in don't hit the same anymore. Conversations that used to drain you don't hook your attention like they used to, because you've stepped into a quieter place, a clearer place, a more aware way of moving through everything. And from here, you start realizing something simple. Not everything needs your voice. Not everything needs your reaction. Not everything deserves your energy at all. Some things are meant for silence. Some things are meant for watching. Some things reveal themselves only when you stop interrupting them. And when you stay in that space long enough, you grow in a different way. Not loud, not forced, not rushed, just steady, real, lasting. So right here, right now, take another breath. Let your shoulders drop and let go of that pressure to respond to everything around you. You don't need to. You really don't. Just sit back, stay aware, and watch. Because everything you need to understand is already unfolding in front of you, and all it's asking from you is simple. Not to say a thing. And now, you're feeling it, aren't you? That shift? That quiet change inside, like something finally slowed down, like your mind isn't running ahead of everything anymore. Yeah, stay right there. Don't rush past this feeling, because this is where things start to change in a real way. You stepped back. You stopped jumping into every moment. You let silence sit where noise used to be, and now you're starting to see what that really does. It's not just about staying quiet. It's about finally seeing things as they are, not as they're shouted at you, not as they're twisted in the moment, just as they are. And when you're not constantly reacting, when you're not always trying to respond or explain or fix something right away, you start noticing details you used to miss completely. The pauses in someone's voice, the way their energy shifts when certain topics come up, the difference between what people say and what they actually mean. Oh yeah, it all becomes clearer. And it's strange at first, almost like you're seeing the same world, but with different eyes, calmer eyes, quieter thoughts. You're not in the middle of everything anymore. You're just watching it unfold. And that changes everything, because when you're in the middle of everything, you get pulled. You get drained, you get pushed into reactions you didn't even plan for. But when you step back, you see the whole picture, not just the moment, not just the emotion, but the pattern behind it. And suddenly, you realize something simple. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everything deserves your explanation. And not everything deserves your energy. Let that sit for a second. Your energy, it's not something to scatter everywhere. Not something to give away just because something is loud or urgent or emotional in the moment. You start choosing now where it goes, who gets it, what actually matters enough for your response. And that choice, that quiet discipline, it changes you, because now you're not pulled around by everything happening outside of you. You're steady inside it all. And people notice that shift. Even if they can't explain it, they feel it in how you respond less, but mean more when you do speak. They feel it in how you don't chase explanations anymore, how you don't rush to clear every misunderstanding. You've stopped over-explaining yourself to people who weren't really listening in the first place. And that alone, that changes your entire energy, because now your presence carries something different. Calm, grounded, controlled, not forced, not loud, just steady. And the funny thing is, the less you try to prove yourself, the more solid you become in other people's eyes. The less you chase attention, the more naturally it comes your way. The less you speak to defend yourself, the more your silence starts to speak for you. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's strange how that works, but it does. And as you keep moving like this, something deeper starts to settle in you. That need to prove, it starts fading. That urge to explain every detail, it loosens. That pressure to be understood by everyone, it starts disappearing, because you finally understand something most people never fully get. The right people don't need constant explanation. They feel you. They see your actions. They understand your energy without needing every word broken down. And the ones who don't, you stop chasing them. You stop trying to make them see you correctly. You just let them think what they think, and you keep going. Calm, focused, steady, because your direction isn't built on their opinions. Your growth isn't waiting for their approval. Yeah, that realization hits different. It feels like dropping something heavy you didn't even know you were carrying for so long. And now your steps feel lighter, your thoughts feel clearer, your reactions feel slower in the best way possible. You don't rush into everything anymore. You pause, you observe, you understand first, and only then, if it truly matters, you move. Otherwise, you let it pass, just like that. No tension, no chasing, no overthinking every small thing that comes your way, because you've learned something powerful. Not everything deserves your response. Not everything needs your voice. And when that really settles in you, life starts feeling different. Lighter, calmer, more open. Because you're no longer fighting every situation, no longer trying to control every outcome. You're letting things show themselves in their own time. And in that space, truth becomes obvious, intentions become clear, paths start opening without force. That's alignment, Not because you pushed it, but because you stopped getting in its way. And now, here you are, just watching it all unfold. Steady, calm, present, knowing deep inside you didn't have to say a thing. Look at you. No rush in your energy, no tightness in your body. Just calm, steady, present. Yeah. Stay there for a moment. Don't move past it too quickly. Because this right here, this is where everything starts to make sense. You stepped back. You stopped jumping into every situation. You let silence sit where noise used to be. And now you're starting to see what that really does, clearer than before. Situations that once felt confusing, they don't confuse you the same way anymore. People you used to overthink, you understand them without even trying to decode them. Paths that felt stuck, they're not as stuck as they seemed. They're opening, slowly, naturally, in their own time. And the part that really hits, you didn't force any of it. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that realization alone changes everything. Because for so long, it felt like you had to push, explain, prove, chase, fix, control. Like if you didn't stay on top of everything, nothing would move. But now you see it differently. When you stop forcing things, life stops resisting you. Feel that flow, that quiet movement where things don't feel heavy anymore, where you're not constantly fighting against timing or outcomes, where things just start to fall into place on their own. That's what happens when you trust. Not in a blind way, not in a careless way, but in a grounded way, a steady way, a way that says, I don't need to rush what's already becoming mine. You trust yourself now. You trust what you've learned. You trust that what's meant for you won't miss you. And that trust, it changes how you move every day. Because now you're not desperate for quick answers. You're not clinging to every outcome. You're not panicking when things take time. You're just staying present, doing what you can, and letting the rest unfold. And everything else, it starts falling into place without you forcing it. Take a breath right here. Yeah, let it settle. Because this is where most people struggle. They want everything now. They want control. They want certainty before the moment even arrives. But you've learned something different. You've learned how to sit in the unknown without losing yourself in it. How to stay steady when nothing feels fully clear yet. How to trust the process even when you can't see the full picture. And that's not common. That's strength in a quiet form. Because now, nothing shakes you the same way it used to. Not opinions, not misunderstandings, not delays, not silence from others. You've built something inside yourself that doesn't collapse every time things feel uncertain. And it didn't come from talking more. It came from doing less, from pausing, from observing, from choosing when to step in and when to simply let things be. Ha 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 ha, yeah? It's almost like you've stepped into a different version of life. Same world, same people, same situations, but your perception of it all has changed completely. You're not pulled into everything anymore. You're not reacting to every opinion. You're not trying to fix every misunderstanding that was never yours to carry. You've realized something simple but powerful. Not everyone is meant to understand you, and that's okay. More than okay. Because your path was never meant to match everyone else's understanding of it. Your growth, your direction, your mindset, it belongs to you, and the people who are aligned with it, they'll understand without you having to over-explain anything. And the ones who don't, you don't chase them anymore. You don't try to convince them.